Hi guys, welcome back to the Vin Review. It's your boy Melvin, and today we'll be talking about the very successful Mexican telenovela Storm over Paradise. But before that, please subscribe to the channel for more content and let's get into it. So Storm over Paradise is one of those childhood defining soap operas for me. I remember watching it very young and we were obsessed with the show. So let's get into the plot real quick. And yeah, the plot is a bit long, so please keep up. In 1987, Eliseo Bravo and Hanan Lascano explored the coral reefs of Cozumel and discovered the legendary Black Pearl. Legend has it that the Black Pearl was cursed a long time ago when the daughter of a Mayan priest fell in love with a white foreigner. She elopes before she is sacrificed to the gods along with gifts of gold and the Black Pearl. So the priest curses the Black Pearl, and whoever possesses it will never be able to know happiness. After discovering it, Eliseo's greed leads him to kill Hanan by mistake, leaving his wife raise their newborn, Aima, alone. Years later, Aima is a beautiful young woman and she meets Nicolas Bravo, Eliseo's son, who is visiting Cozumel and they fall in love. Her mother is murdered by a jealous suitor when Aima rejects him. Enters Maura. Maura Duran impersonates Karina Rosenberg, a rich heiress thought to be dead, whose land Eliseo covets. Eliseo plots to have Maura marry Nicolas to access the Rosenberg property. Eliseo detests Aima and her relationship with his son Nicolas. Maura, however, falls in love with Eliseo's oldest son, David, who is the black sheep of the family. David and Maura start a relationship driven by passion and lust. David meets a crazy girl who lives and wanders alone around the Rosenberg ruins, and he befriends her. It is unknown to anyone that she is the real Karina Rosenberg, who went crazy before she witnessed her parents burn alive. She falls in love with David, who is infatuated with Maura. Maura's greed leads her to do the unthinkable to the Bravos and anyone who gets in her way. So with that plot line, that is the general plot line. You can already tell how this show is, right? You can tell that Maura Duran is the main antagonist, she's the villain, and then we have Aima and Nicolas, who are our main protagonists. Okay, so 2007, this show hit the telenovela world by storm. Okay, it was so good. It was on the 8 p.m. Time slot here, and that's what anyone could talk about. We used to watch it at night, and then when we go to school the following day, we used to have like group discussions, and you're like, "Did you see what Maura did to yesterday?" I mean, we loved this show so much. And let me tell you, something that I think they hit the nail on the head is with that was a very good looking cast. I mean, the actors, we have Sarah Maldonado who plays Aima, Eric Elias who plays Nicolas, and then we have Mariana Sione who plays Maura. Very good looking individuals, you know. So what is my opinion on this show? I enjoyed it very much. And I didn't care that it had over 157 episodes. It ran from November 12th, 2007, and it ended on September 7th, 2008. So that is a very long time for a show to be on. But then let me tell you, there was never a dull moment on the show. And you know what? If we are being honest, let us call it what it was. Maura Duran was the show. Let me tell you something. If Maura Duran was not the villain in this show, then this show would have been nothing without that woman, okay? Let us give her credit. she carried the show. And I'm not saying that Aima and Nicholas's love story wasn't sufficient. No, not at all. They had a good thing going. They were sufficient. But then if it was left only to that, if the producer relied only on the love story to carry the entire telenovela, then I can assure you this wouldn't have been the success that it is today. This show it went on to become a legendary, stample in the telenovela world. Okay, this show is legendary. Let me tell you something. If you ask anyone who is my age, name 5 telenovelas that have made an impact in the telenovela world, and someone who watches telenovela, then I can assure you this telenovela has to be mentioned. Because if I think about telenovelas that had an impact with me growing up, then I have to name this. And Maura Duran is probably one of the most iconic. Hear me. Maura Duran is one of the most iconic villains in the history of telenovelas. There's no argument there. Okay, I remember one scene. Maura ran over a guy with her car, right? And her stepmother Louisa was in the car with her. And Louisa was like, she was a bit upset they had killed someone. And Maura just turned up the radio um on the car, and she started singing after she ran over a guy and killed him, and then she started singing and dancing in the car like nothing happened. And Louisa looked at her and told her, I think you are starting to become a cold-blooded killer. And Maura looked at her and she smiled. She really just didn't care. And anyone who got in her way was going to be eliminated. It was just as simple, and her obsession with David was one thing that was amazing. Okay, she really didn't like Nicholas. She couldn't even stand Nicholas, We expected that she was going to fall in love with Nicholas and, she was going to fight Aima because, she loved Nicholas. No, the only reason she wanted Nicholas is because if she married Nicholas, and she was fake Karina, so if she married Nicholas, they could probably run the world together because Nicholas was going to be the head of the, Bravo empire. She is fake Karina, so she's going to inherit the Rosenberg fortune. And after she inherits the Rosenberg fortune, and they mix the two empires together, they are going to be very rich. That is all that she wanted from Nicholas. The one she really wanted was David. Okay, David was her obsession. That man made her go crazy, and she hated the crazy girl, the real Karina, and she tried to kill her so many times, you know. And then let's talk about the Black Pearl real quick. I liked that they attributed all of the sufferings and problems that Eliseo had and befell him to the Black Pearl, because when he discovers the Black Pearl and he accidentally kills his friend, that is the curse of the Black Pearl, that is kind of activated in the very first episode of the show. Is they discover it and then he kills his friend. He goes on to become this wealthy, successful businessman with this huge ranch. And then everything else that happens, because Eliseo still has the Black Pearl, so everything else that happens to Eliseo and his family, including the arrival of Maura Duran, is attributed to the Black Pearl and the curse of the Black Pearl. And in the end, when everything is said and done, Aima and Nicholas return the Black Pearl, to the ocean. So if anyone else finds it, well, the curse is unlocked again. And I loved, the supernatural aspect of the show. It wasn't really in your face with terrible CGI. No, it was, we knew what was going on. You understand? And I also loved the flashbacks of, the Mayan people and the Black Pearl before the modern world. So that was a touch that I enjoyed very much. Let's talk about they will have children and they will do a time jump, which I did not mind. This is me hoping that this telenovela isn't remade anytime soon. I am hoping and praying that this telenovela isn't remade. Now, please hear me, whoever you remake telenovelas. Please do not touch this masterpiece, because I feel like if you do it, if you touch this masterpiece, you are going to ruin it. You are going to just do terrible things to it. I do not like when telenovelas are remade. Please do not remake this. This is an iconic show that needs to be left alone. Put it on streaming somewhere, maybe on Netflix, so people can easily access it, so that we can rewatch it. Just do not remake it. Okay? Anyway, if you watched this show, tell me what were your favorite moments. Did you love Karina as much as I mean Maura? I loved Maura Duran so much, and I was rooting for her. She was the villain, but I was rooting for her. Yo, I'm always rooting for the villain. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and comment. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye.